I'm Theresa V, and this is the place to be if you're a sensitive and a world changer who wants to feel more alive and live more on purpose. As the caretakers of the world, we have a lot of things to do each and every day, including our self-care regimen. So everything that I teach, preach, and do is all about simplicity and getting the most out of everything you're going to do anyway during each day. Today we'll be talking about the healing powers of food, and I guarantee this video is not going to be what you think. Stay tuned. We have our share of issues when it comes to digestion and sensitivities and foods. For those of you who follow me on the socials, you'll see that one of my passions is food. It's one of the greatest ways for us to heal ourselves. But I'll tell you that it took a large part of my life for me to come by that truth. My relationship with food up until I took my first Reiki training was tenuous at best. I would eat for survival, and I didn't think very much about what I was putting into my body or how it was made. It was just, I'm hungry, feed me so I can be fueled and go on to the next thing. Everything changed for me when I learned that you could infuse the food that you were preparing for yourself or for other people with energy, with intention, with prayer, with love, and that by ingesting that food, you would be ingesting those energies. You could be healed from the inside through the intention of the person making the food. When this teaching happened, it was like everything fell away and it just glowed. It was just one of those moments where it was like things started to make sense and something inside of me got ignited. And this is how I began my journey with food. I began to prepare foods for myself. I began to look at who was preparing my foods, how were they being prepared. So knowing that you can infuse what you're preparing with healing energy, an energy that can support you and others from the inside, brings a sense of power back to you, allows you to expand your purpose on this planet, allows you to nurture people, including yourself, in a whole new way, just by doing exactly what you would be doing anyway, but changing the focus just slightly. And from personal experience, I can tell you that the people who are open to receiving support will feel it when they ingest what it is that you've prepared, even if you're just heating up a pre-packaged veggie burger. If you're infusing that with love and intention and gratitude, the people receiving that will feel it. They will think it is the most delicious meal ever, or ask what it is that you did differently than when they usually make it. Play with it. This is really fun and you'll have great experiences. The people who are not open, however, will not respond well. They might not even try the food that you've made. And that's fine. It's absolutely fine. But you'll know who's open and who's not through how they're reacting to what it is that you've prepared or served. As sensitives, our energy systems, our bodies respond in big ways to very subtle shifts. So as we change small things in our lives, we reap humongous benefits. This is one of the indications of our sensitivities being the superpowers that they truly are. We can heal ourselves through what we eat. We just spoke about how to do that through infusing energy into our foods. We can do it with intention. We can do it with healing energy if we're actually trained or attuned to any specific systems of healing. What we do need to remember when doing this for other people, though, is we don't know what healing should look like for them. We don't know what their process should be. So when we just set the intention for the highest and best, then their healing process, their journey can unfold in exactly the way that it is supposed to, with the most effectiveness and ease and grace. When we're making shifts in what we're ingesting and how we're doing it, we can heal ourselves with food as well. Each day we can check in with our bodies, with our energetic system, and ask, what is it that you most need to be supported today? This is one of my favorite ways to connect in. And then if you just sit silently, maybe even close your eyes and let your system speak to you. Maybe visualize a table laid out before you and see what kind of foods are on the table. Or pay attention to your sense of smell. Maybe you'll smell certain foods, or you'll just have a sense memory of something you ate as a child or something delicious that you had a couple of weeks ago. This is one way that we can start listening to our bodies in terms of what they need to be supported. Another way is when we go to the supermarket or the farm stand, we can see which foods cause a reaction in us. We'll be drawn to certain things. We may just think that they're very beautiful, or we may love the smell. Whatever it is that draws you to those foods is your body telling you this is something you need. We can also pay attention to what's growing in the area where we live at any time of year, and we can eat more of those foods. Now, when I say growing in our area, I mean naturally growing, not necessarily being grown in a greenhouse out of season. So what grows naturally in your area right now? Those are the foods that will best support your body in navigating the changes that happen between seasons, as well as the energy of the seasons themselves. We can pay attention to the qualities of our foods. Am I generally cold, and do I eat a lot of cold foods or foods that haven't been warmed up? Am I generally warm and eat a lot of hot, spicy foods? Do I feel very stagnant, yet eat a lot of dairy? It's just things that we can think about in terms of the qualities of what we're bringing into our bodies and the qualities that we would like to increase or reduce that we see in ourselves. There's a whole science to this called food energetics, which when we remember that we're feeding all 5 of our senses at every meal, then we can nourish ourselves on a much deeper level than we do normally. So if I'm someone who is running around and just grabbing something out of the refrigerator, opening the wrapper and eating it on the go, that's a very different experience than if I'm someone who, even if I'm eating alone, sets the table with my best silverware and my best plates and a beautiful tablecloth and some candles and makes a beautiful meal, plating it gorgeously, making sure all of the colors of the rainbow are represented on my plate, and setting some warm water to have with my meal and just sitting there and being with my food and with my food only. No phone, no book, no newspaper, no TV. That's a whole different experience. And granted, sometimes we have the time to do one or the other, and that's understood. But our goal is to balance our lives. And if we have 2 or 3 meals on the go, then can we have 2 or 3 meals to counterbalance that and do it a different way? As we sit down with our food, even if it's eating on the go in the car, can we take a moment and be in gratitude for the food that we are eating, regardless of what it is? Can we take a moment and think about all who were involved? The growing, the packaging, the transport, everyone that had a part in this food getting to me. Can I give gratitude to them? Can I offer a moment of thanks for the job that they've done? Can I send a prayer for them to be nourished by my prayer the way I'm being nourished by the food that I'm about to ingest? Can I take a moment and just intend that this food be brought to the exact right vibration for where I am today, for what I need to live my highest purpose, for the way that I need to be nurtured and supported? When we do that, we start harmonizing ourselves with the food so that the digestive process will go a lot smoother. That mindfulness creates more ease, more grace, not only for our digestion, but when we're there with our food, we're chewing it more. We're spending the time with it. We're in a relaxed state. So we don't have to compensate for the agitation that takes energy away from our digestion. The focus that we're looking at our phone, and so that's taking some energy away from our digestion. Not chewing enough, which causes our stomach to work much harder on digesting the food. that it needs to digest. So these are all ways that we can start improving the entire process of our meals and healing ourselves from the inside, bringing more of the energy that we need to nourish ourselves back to our center before we even ingest our food. When we take the time to make our food beautiful, regardless of what it is, even if we're having a frozen burrito, can you put it on a plate that you really think is beautiful? Can you make a design with your hot sauce? Whatever it is that will make this more of a full sensory experience. Use all of your senses when eating. Smell the food, feel the temperature. We need to feed all 5 senses when we're eating. And digestion begins with the eyes. When we see the food, it stimulates the digestive process to start in our mouths. We start salivating. When that saliva is in our mouth then, and all those enzymes have been released, it starts breaking down the food much faster than if we didn't take the time to look at it, to appreciate it, to smell it. We're ingesting it then without that preparation, and so it doesn't get broken down as efficiently as it would have otherwise. And I mentioned food energetics before. This is really important. We're not only bringing in the food itself, the qualities of the food, we're bringing in the energies of the food. If we look at our food and pay attention to how it grows, we'll get a clue as to what it can help us with. If we look at the way the food looks, we will know what part of the body it can help nourish and sustain. Just a couple of examples. Potatoes grow down in the earth. Potatoes are very grounding. They're heavy. They bring those qualities to us. Leafy greens grow up and then spread outward. These foods bring the qualities of oxygen. They reach up to get the oxygen. They bring prana. They help, the green energy helps our heart and lung area to clear and to open. If you look at foods like pomegranate is red, and most red foods help our blood system. That is the ones that aren't poisonous. A lot of red foods tend to be poisonous as well, but things like pomegranate and beets, those help build up our blood system. Look at a walnut. When you crack a walnut and you see the shape of it, it looks just like a brain. And the omegas in the walnuts support our brain. So these are the ways that we can start to tune in and clue ourselves into what energy do I need and what food will give that to me. So we've just scratched the surface on the ways that food can help you heal almost everything in your life. Regardless of how small or how big the problem, you're going to eat every day anyway. So why not choose the foods that support you in moving in the direction that you want to move in terms of improving every aspect of your health? The one question I do get asked all the time is about sugar and caffeine and all of the things that we obsess over. As sensitives, we are sensitive to a lot of things, and for this reason, we can get very obsessive with what it is that we ingest. Everything is fair game in moderation, unless there's a very specific diagnosis that you're trying to heal in your body where avoiding certain things for a period of time would really be helpful, then everything in moderation is probably the best way to go. And if you're about to eat that piece of cake or have a cup full of caffeine, then be present with what you're about to ingest. Ingest it with the intention to enjoy every bite that you take. And use all of your senses when having that experience. This goes for all foods, not just the ones that you think that you shouldn't be eating. But the key is that when we ingest anything with guilt and shame, telling ourselves, I shouldn't be eating this, that food turns to poison in our system. All of your senses digest. So this works also if you're choosing to watch a movie and saying, I shouldn't be watching this isn't what I should be watching. You're doing the same thing. These things turn to poison in your system when you're ingesting them and bringing them in with guilt, with shame, or with a monologue that tells you you should be doing something else. So make the choice to have that cupcake and to enjoy the heck out of it. And then and only then will it be able to nourish you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You're eating 3 times a day anyway. Why not make it worthwhile and support yourself with everything that you're bringing into your system? I know we're just scratching the surface on this topic, and there will be more to come. Please leave a comment and let us know what you would like to know more about in regards to food, nutrition, your health, and your healing. If you would like some amazing recipes, then go to theresav.com and there's a recipes tab. You can also follow my social media where I share lots of pictures of what I'm eating, and we'll be sharing so many more recipes and so much more in terms of food education and energetics. In the meantime, if you would like support on your healing journey, I invite you to join the membership where you will receive healing energy every single day, and you'll be supported by a loving community of people just like you, who are looking to live in their sensitive superpowers so that they can live more on purpose and feel more alive. The link to more information about the membership can be found in the comments section below or in the description of this video. Thank you as always for being here, for being part of this community, and for sharing these videos out far and wide with those who need these messages. I look so forward to connecting with you again soon. Please drop a comment and let us know how we can support. Talk soon.